Happy Gladiator Wednesday, my favorite day of the week for obvious reasons. I'm not going to lie, I didn't have a great intro plan. I'm just buzzing on vibes and energies right now. I'm a golf guy now, fully converted to being a links guy. This sweat right now this morning is electric. The volatility in the golf leaderboards is, if you're not playing these contests, man, I highly suggest getting in. I am currently the meme of I was not familiar with your game, Underdog, when it comes to the golf streets. And I'm converted. I owe Neumy an apology from the jump here, Nez, that you golf pretty dope.
Neumy was onto something with the golf stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Like you said, the sweat is just like ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. You check your phone like 1 minute and you're up and it's awesome. And then you go to take a piss and then you check your phone again. Because we don't check our phones while we pee. You got to have separation of church and state there. And you look and all of a sudden you're down like 200. You're losing $200. You were just up and now you're losing money. It's absurd. And there's like post round bonuses too, of like if your boy doesn't bogey, there's extra points there. It's a magnificent sweat. There's really no other way to put it.
Yeah, I know. I'm having a lot of fun. And the only reason I did it is because it was locking on a Wednesday. It was locking this morning. I saw that single entry contest and I just, I was told that there was a little bit of an edge here where they were playing two courses for the same, event, but one was the North and one was the South. And I was told the North was easier, but now all the guys, so I drafted only North guys basically. And now the South guys are cooking.
Dude, so that's what everybody says, right? Everybody was saying that. I golfed Torrey Pines South, not in championship form, but I golfed Torrey Pines South earlier or last year at one point for a bachelor party.
Yeah, the bachelor party. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, nobody thought it was hard. Nobody thought the course was hard. South.
Dude, maybe you should be on tour.
I should be. I smacked a couple stingers there. Unbelievable. I should have, I had my hand on the course and I still opted for the Neumy sheet. Unbelievable. Neumy strikes again.
Oh, I love it. Speaking of Neumy, we got to give Hope all the praise for all these great contests that are up in the lobby right now.
Yes.
We talked about it on Monday, how, the two gamers, okay, yeah, the GMs, yada, yada. Let's not have that conversation again. And we were looking at the lobbies here. How do you solve that? Well, we're going to offer 3-person lobbies and 4-person lobbies. We're going to keep it at 11K entries for the first iteration and then drop another one after the fact. We're going to have a high price point, low entry. We're going to have all the variety that is given for NFL this week. Is just a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing. They're cooking big time right now. A lot of the first iteration of these contests have already filled. We're on the second iteration of a lot of these contests, including the $3 hurry up, which my dad called me today while I was going to the post office to mail a passport renewal form. And I'm like poring over
I was about to say, who the hell just goes to the post office?
I used to go to the post office a lot because I used to sell a lot of stuff on eBay, like shoes and stuff. So I pride myself on being very efficient at the post office. Well, I'm there and I'm reading these instructions on the passport renewal because I really don't want to fuck it up. And he's talking to me about all these contests he likes and the strategy that he's doing. And I'm like, I'm just trying to make sure I don't get rejected on this passport and then I can't go on this trip to Portugal with my wife in the summer. Like,
ooh, nice.
Yeah. So we're trying to do this stuff. Long story short, he loves the hurry ups. I also love the hurry ups, and he's going double RB. He doesn't understand why people are going 3 wide receivers.
That's actually a great story. Holy shit. That's fun, man.
Doesn't get it. Yeah. Dub City. If you see Dub City 814, he's badged up. He has a badge. So,
oh, wow. Yeah, hey, speaking of other players today, I just fired off a tweet, gets no interaction or whatever. But, I'm talking NHL hockey Hall of Famer here, Canada gold medalist Tandy, a guy who took the Canucks to the finals. I don't know if it's actually him on the app or not, but the same screen name as his Twitter handle in Roberto Luongo, and he was leading the golf streets there for a minute. So I was like, that's pretty cool if he's jamming out here with us, just messing it up in the Underdog streets with us.
I hope that's him. That'd be hilarious. Like, you can't be out here stealing names.
Yeah, no, exactly. And he was like he was a poker guy when he was here. Like, he did like the local poker site commercials, and like he was always playing on that app. So, the fact that he would be playing a sports one, doesn't fall too far from the tree, right?
Yeah. I gotta plug in my Ethernet cord real quick. Please continue. It'll be 1 second. It says we had to do some maneuvering in the office today. Bray had a campaign, so I just need to plug this in real quick because it's lagging sometimes. I don't want to miss any funny jokes and leave you hanging.
GMs to everybody in the chat here. Good to see everyone hanging out. Appreciate Dusty. Thank you for becoming a member. That's awesome. Appreciate you. Long time hanger outer around here. T-Box, I will be leading the charge for this, my friend. If and when we get NASCAR BRs, I will max the shit out of some NASCAR BRs. I love me some going fast and turn into the left. It is I love that sport, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Have you done any DFS in NASCAR before on other places?
I mean, I don't like to talk about the redacted streets here, but your boy used to dabble. Yeah,
that's funny.
It is a fun sweat, though. He's alluding to the fact that it's similar to the golf stuff, where it's like the pendulum swings are immense because a guy can be in 30th place and then he's in first place and then he's back down to 25th. It's such a good sweat sport. The full opposite of what F1 would be, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then I saw the one in the chat here. I was looking for it. I can't find it now. Someone gave Inthrius a shout. Kind of evergreen at this point, but we got to give some flowers to last night. Our guy Mike Zakarian up there. Our guy Joka, who we hung out with in Miami, took down the smaller contest. Inthrius and Jewish McCaffrey. Those were some of the big hitters last night in the NBA streets. So big shouts there. And then All Day Ray. Big one here. Second place in the NBA and first in the puck. So 2-sport athlete, same night. Yeah, you love to see that.
Impressive.
Yeah, man. And then Noah, our guy Noah, was like a runner-up in that one. I think he was second, maybe third in the puck one too. So anyways, it was a awesome night.
Shout out Sock Muffin.
Sock Muffin?
That's Noah's screen name.
Oh, is it really? I just always like...
Pretty awesome. Pretty good one.
I just like look at it and I don't actually read it, and I just like name association. I'm like, oh, that's Noah. Like, yeah. I just
Sock Muffin.
That's
yes, it's fantastic.
Yeah, actually, this one. Chip said shout out Ducky last night. Ducky gets the GM that he didn't know was a GM of Mikal Bridges falling back in line with the front end of the draft board. Is that what it was? Something like that.
Yeah, and Kawhi Leonard fell as well. And, but what's crazy is he's not only done this on back-to-back nights, he's played like 19 lineups in both nights combined. And just taking everybody for a bath. Just unbelievable shit.
So this guy is knowing something that we're not currently knowing, but back-to-back nights on low volume, taking down massive NBA slates. Very impressive. So hat tip there. That's pretty crazy.
Hard to do. It's that shit is not easy.
Yeah. I mean, I've been trying all year, Nez.
You got one.
That's true. I got one so far. The other one's coming. Actually, last night was the first night I maxed NBA this year. So we're back. I felt very good about last night's slate, and my exposures were really on point, I thought, but just didn't land the plane.
Nothing worse. I mean, I max NBA a lot, but for whatever reason, well, I guess it makes sense. That's more money at stake, but like the sweat when you max NBA is always like way more intense, right? It really just kind of turns it up when you see the 150 next to that. I did not do well last night in NBA. No, it wasn't my night. Julius Randle over Kawhi Leonard was not the move.
It was not the move last night, but let's change the tide this evening. How about that? Yeah.
Sorry, my internet
You're
cut out.
lagging.
I didn't.
All right, you're good. All right, let's start with the NFL stuff. Two gamer here, a couple fun games, much closer spreads than we were accustomed to seeing from last week. I will pull up our friends at Fantasy Life, the Game Hub, as our starting point here, Nez. Macro thoughts weekend. We excited or what?
I'm nervous. I'm really
Ooh.
nervous because I've got Ravens and Lions bags in like 3 different best ball tournaments that I'm like extremely live in. And I know I'm not the only one that has
Mhm.
Ravens Lions teams alive, but I want to be there with everybody else holding hands, maybe chopping, maybe solo, who knows, but I really need the Lions to win. And even with Debo projecting out, still a 7-point spread for the Niners. If he was like just hypothetically full practice Friday and played, I don't know that the spread really moves like a ton necessarily, but it
Mhm.
definitely moves. Maybe like 7.5. I don't know, but regardless, man, it doesn't feel great that even without Debo, they're like projected to win by a touchdown. But it's why you play the games, man. You
Mhm.
never know what can happen. So I am nervous for my Ravens and Lions bags, but this should be just an awesome day of football.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I fully agree with you there. A lot of good defenses on this slate, but then a couple little wrinkles that I've been tapping into. I did 30 drafts this morning, and I watched the playback of the Niners game in which I missed, so that I could have a little hand on the film thing. Um, I have a slightly different take than everybody on this Debo stuff. I think Debo plays football this weekend. I
You
think
think so?
Yeah, I think the initial coach speak stuff was like 50-50. Then I was reading some of the Shanahan stuff and it was like a pain management, and he was talking that like early in the week is when they'd want to know so that then they could game plan. Now whether they publicize that he's in or out that early in the week is a different thing. But no practice today, so that obviously matters, but that matters considerably less in my mind because we know like vet day Wednesdays and stuff like that. Like Isaiah Pacheco didn't practice today with a toe. I'm not concerned about Isaiah Pacheco playing this weekend, right? Um, anyways, I think if it's a pain tolerance thing, I went back, I watched the play a couple times, not a doctor, obviously, or whatever. It looks pretty innocent. Like the play itself, like he kind of just like gets like gang tackled, falls down, and his shoulder kind of like moves the wrong way. I think he's one of my favorite picks when he falls to like the 5th and the 6th because you get the leverage of him and then you just get the free swap equity off of him for, I don't know, maybe I don't want 100% Juwan Jennings and maybe I randomize that exposure a little bit. But like Juwan Jennings played a really nice role in that football game even before Debo went out. Like their first big catch over the middle of the field was to Jennings, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my macro Debo thought.
Well, I will say, as far as like my daily exposures go,
Mhm.
I like that you're saying this because I'm sitting at, I've done a lot of drafts right now. And to be, very transparent with the 3-person drafts, I have done like quite a bit of auto drafting just because I'm just, just blasting off. I know what I like in my rankings and I know that I like Debo Samuel. And I
Okay.
am sitting at 60% Debo Samuel right
Holy
now in
smokes.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, it's just like what you said, right? It's like if he plays, this is it's a pretty favorable matchup with the Lions. And I agree with you. It didn't look anything like overly painful, like not a doctor here or anything, but uh,
Mhm.
the swap, the fact that we can swap off Debo is just like incredible. And if we get like limited participant on Thursday or LP on Friday or any sort of bullish news,
Mhm.
he's is he going over Rashee Rice? Maybe not, but it's probably pretty damn close. So right now
Mhm.
is just like the time to get your Debo. It was my thinking, knowing that I'm going to keep drafting until kickoff on Sunday. Let me just try to get a little CLV.
Yeah, no, I like where your thought process is at, and it's really hard to envision a path to anyone in that backside breaking the slate quite like Debo could in that back end of rankings, right? Even in the 3-person ones.
Yeah,
That, and I think that's why
especially
the field
like
I think that's why
but yeah.
okay. Yeah, I think that's why the field's like gravitating like heavily toward the 2 tight end builds. Also a little bit of recency bias that they saw it win last week. And they are premium household names in the tight end streets this week. But I think people are gravitating to a little bit of safety plus ceiling opposed to going like 1-1-3-1 with Debo, where they have to potentially swap. People would rather be like, just give me Laporta instead.
Yeah, I think that is a big part of it. And I like 2 tight end too. I do have I don't know the exact number, but I am doing a lot of 2 tight end. My wide receiver pool though, man, is 7 players deep. Like, not like
right.
It's not deep, and that's probably normal for a lot of people, but yeah, like I'm not, I'm just extremely concentrated with this slate. So I think 2 tight end does make a good bit of sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think the field's in lockstep with you there. Let's talk about the games themselves for a second. I was going to go position by position, but let's talk about the games for 1 second here. I think the defensive matchup and potential like worse weather of the two, not that I think there's going to be bad weather in either, could be this Chiefs Ravens. Like that one feels like Ravens. I don't know or don't think they get Marlon Humphrey back this weekend, but like maybe. But this one feels like Ravens have been really tough on opposing wide receivers and opposing quarterbacks. These feel like the 2 teams that don't have holes that I can poke. Whereas in the other game, I can go, okay, I just watched Jordan Love, pick apart the 49ers a little bit. And we've had smart people in the chat for a long time telling us that you can beat the Niners on the ground. And we saw them go Aaron Jones's way. He breaks a long run in the 4th quarter, but they were having intermittent success and they were moving the ball with efficiency, right? Like if they get the 4th and 1 in the 2nd quarter, I believe, if they don't turn those first 2 long sustained drives into field goals, but instead touchdowns, like, the Packers look nice and we're moving the ball nice. I think it's going to be way harder to move the ball in the other game.
Yeah, no, I think you make a really good point. I mean, total reflects that, but Ravens defense is obviously like extremely stout, and they're going to get Marlon Humphrey back. Chiefs defense, did everything they could against Josh Allen, but they kind of got a warm up for Lamar in a sense, right? Where it's going to be a similar style of quarterback in that game.
That's so true.
Man, I got to be on. Like, so I'm nervous about my Lions. However, why does it kind of feel like the Lions? It's a similar thesis, in my opinion, to the Packers, where the Lions have a good ground game, like you mentioned, where the Niners are like most vulnerable is on the ground. And, if the Lions were able to get a turnover on Purdy, gain a lead, I think that could be really beneficial. I think the problem was when the Packers gained that lead, the Niners didn't have to necessarily lean on the passing game on Purdy because they could also run the shit out of the ball against that Packers defense, like we had always talked about this season. The Lions' run defense is much more stout than the Packers' run defense. So, it kind of makes them a little more one-dimensional given certain scenarios that I think could pose some potential issues for the Niners if, the Lions happen to, get off to a good start on offense or, get a turnover on Purdy or have a nice play on special teams. Like these type of things are definitely going to be necessary to beat the 49ers. But I mean, you don't really have to squint too hard to see a path where the Lions win. But seems like I'm always playing devil's advocate for these underdogs, but I really don't think it's a shoe-in.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And I do think you paint a good narrative where it is like, I've been doing a lot of teams that run Lions through the ground. And do even pairing both the 2 Lions running backs together and then playing like the other game environment or playing like Purdy Kittle on a bring back or something of that magnitude. So I like the overarching thesis. I think you can paint a picture for each of how each of these teams win in a logical manner without going to gal brain right now, right? So if the Niners if the Niners win and the Niners play to their total, how does it happen? Well, Lions are a pass funnel, and it's probably, a lot of yak and short dump off stuff because they blitz a ton. And it's, CMC dump offs, it's over the middle stuff, Kittle, Ayuk, stuff like this, crossers, motion, go, that sort of deal. The Lions, it feels like it would be like pretty ground heavy. The Ravens, I think the blueprint is almost what was last week with Josh Allen, where it's like you make them spy the shit out of your quarterback, and you just run everything through athletic quarterback and little dump off flares. Like we saw that next gen passing chart of Josh Allen's last week. It's like everything's in and around the line of scrimmage, or it's these monster deep shots, and you trust the arm strength for some field stretchers. I think that's kind of it. The Chiefs is the one that I really struggle with, because are we back with Kelsey from last week and Rice was just banged up? He was in and out of the ball game. Or does this go through Rice this week? Or is it Pacheco week here? I don't know how the Chiefs play to best win this game.
I know, right? It doesn't feel like it certainly feels like they're overmatched, but I mean, this is coming from somebody that's been counting out the Chiefs every single week, though. So
except for the defense, you've always been on board with their defense being good.
The defense is certainly good. That is, yeah. Mm-hmm. There's no question on that. But man, I do worry that this offense can be pretty muted. But it's Pat Mahomes, man, and they always need to find some kind of way. I think Pacheco will probably be a very big factor in that, right? Being able to use him effectively, I think, will be a big part of this. If he can get like some solid amount of chunk plays out of him, then that takes a lot of pressure off of the passing game. So we'll see what they do.
Do you know Pacheco's backstory?
No. Like what's going on?
Okay, so I didn't know much about him in general. Like whatever. I was just doing some reading and whatnot. He lost both his brother and his sister when he was like, one was like when he was 15 or 16, and then one was like 2 years later at like 17. And then he made like his like life path in honor of them kind of deal.
Damn.
Yeah, man, it made me love the dude. I was like, that's so heavy. And like, now I'm like, now I know why this guy runs angry as fuck all the time, right? Like he's stomping the shit out of that ground for a reason, right? He's running mad. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew he played at Rutgers, and I knew he wasn't like that good at Rutgers. That was like all that I knew about him. So that's cool. Yeah, good for him. Seems like a good guy. You like to see these running back stories. I'm always rooting for the running backs.
Yeah, very much so. Okay, let's talk some specifics here. Let's start with Ravens, because Ravens, I think, is the most interesting debate right now. By the looks of it, Mark Andrews is going to play football this weekend. What does that do for both him, the pass catchers, Isaiah Likely? Are you pairing them together? Do you have a lean between them? And then we'll go into the running back position for them, because I think there's a lot of ambiguity on the Ravens in particular.
Definitely ambiguity there. And I mean, Mark Andrews right now, in terms of like an underdog context, is very, very cheap. People are not like clamoring to get Mark Andrews after he practiced all last week and didn't play. So Mark Andrews is just like there every single time that you want him on Underdog right now, which, for me is very appealing. Right now I'm sitting at 30% Mark Andrews, which, I guess is like kind of in line with the field, depending on what contests you're playing. Mm-hmm. I still want Zay Flowers first if I'm ranking choices of what pass catchers I'm stacking with Lamar Jackson. But man, Mark Andrews and 2 tight end builds, or even if he's your last tight end, feels just really good this week. I don't really know what to expect. I honestly was team like he won't play in the Super Bowl just because surgery, all the whole injury. I just felt like a bit of a long shot, but he practiced all last week. If he's playing, you got to assume that he's being, Mark Andrews. So how do you fade him?
Right. Yeah, no, I'm kind of in lockstep there. I think Likely has done enough to retain something, and I don't know how that manifests itself. Does that manifest itself in more two tight end sets, and then the rotational perimeter wide receivers just get axed out a little bit more than they have in weeks past? Yeah, I don't know. What do you feel about pairing the two together? Are you always stacking them? Are you leaving them out of stacks to get contrarian? What are your thoughts there?
With Andrews and Likely.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know that I could do both, but I mean the path to them both succeeding is definitely, not crazy and not improbable.
Mhm.
It would be very surprising to see Likely just get phased out, like it just
Right.
that just really wouldn't make sense to me. Like he's been good, and I don't know how
Mhm.
you can just move him off the field. But I
He's
don't really have a lean right now. I mean, he's for me, it's like if I get froze out of tight end and Likely is my tight end, then like I'm not mad. It's just I
right.
just have no idea what to expect.
Yeah, that's happening more than we would like. I don't know. Like here, okay, what do you feel better at? You've already got tight end locked up, okay? You've got Lamar as your quarterback in a draft. Last round pick. Who do you feel more comfortable clicking? Likely Odell, Bateman, Aguilar.
Bateman.
Okay, interesting. Because I would have said Likely. Like I
Yeah.
feel most comfortable clicking Likely even with Mark Andrews back. But that's interesting. That's very interesting. So you think the kind of usage flip that we saw last week from Bateman, where we had heard a lot of talk of like Odell's saving himself for the playoffs and he's gonna have a ramped up role and blah blah blah, and then it trends in the wrong direction, and it's Bateman and Aguilar who outsnap him last week, right? So it's kind of like you're buying into this. They were waiting for Bateman to be healthy, not waiting for Odell to be healthy.
I mean, I don't think it's crazy to think that Bateman has more gas in the tank than Odell.
Oh, I don't think that's crazy at
Had the
all.
had the bye week, in the wild card round, got to see the three targets there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm Bateman pilled. Yeah, my like Quads is saying in the chat, my my cousin got to me. My Bria's
Yeah.
Bria's cousin
Priya's
got to me,
cousin.
man.
Yeah. Hand on the practice report.
Bro, he made some
Actually,
great points, and it came to fruition.
so I got a buddy who's big Ravens fan. I think I've told the story on here before where I ordered him Marquise Brown jersey or whatever and accidentally got two. So now I have a Ravens Marquise Brown jersey. Have I ever told you that one?
No.
Oh, okay, okay. Anyways, I also owe him. I still owe him a signed Ravens piece of Ravens memorabilia, but that's neither here nor there.
Are you
But
reading
I
a
want
tweet
to.
right now?
I'm about to. I'm about to read you something.
Okay. Um, he follows like all these isolated threads of like sickos from the Ravens and just like loves it. And I can't believe that these people exist out there, but I just love it so much. And this is one of the guys that he converses with like recently. He just goes, this guy goes, do not take your eye off the ball for a second. I've been grinding Madden and been playing Ravens Texans again, and I'll be playing Ravens Texans again later tonight. My coworker missed work this week to rewatch Lamar's 2018, 2019, and 2020 playoff games. My neighbor's been writing names of every single Ravens player she knows, checking who she forgot, then starting the list again and rewriting them all. The Texans are no joke. We have to stay locked in. This takes all of us. We all need to be a part of this. And like, this is the message that he's sending to like their thread of like, yo, guys, like I was like, people like this exist. Like they think they have this much of an impact on it. Oh man, I found it so funny. I was like, this is
That is
incredible.
incredible, man. Writing the names of Ravens players and starting over if they forgot one. That is unbelievable.
Oh man, I love it, man. I don't know. Sometimes I forget how we jokingly, because we play these games, because we do so much of this stuff, I forget about like the laundry aspect of it a bit, and then rewatching, like rereading stuff like that, or rewatching the Miami Hard Knocks and stuff, you forget about like the guys that are, he's been the equipment manager for 30 years, like, or all the people that prep the field, that like there actually is this like we're part of it mentality that exists that's so different than other sports, right?
It's real, man. It's very
Yeah.
real. I was going to mention, just slightly off topic, I don't know if you got a notification for the this like Rudman tweet that Underdog retweeted.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
So I don't know if you've been in the streets this week, you've seen in your emails, we've been getting emailed when we have drafts canceled now. So that is going to continue to happen. And if it's too much, you can create a rule in your inbox and get it filtered somewhere else. But on top of this now, we are now going to include the roster that was canceled as well. So pretty interesting that they're including that. People have been asking for that. So, salute to them for actually including that. I'm sure it's just going to result in probably more questions their way when people see this and wonder why something got canceled. But that's a step in the right direction for sure. I'm glad that they found the way to do this, and I think it's a very big positive update.
Love it, man. Yeah, just another pat on the back for like game integrity and listening to the community and that sort of thing. Neumy suggesting that
only. Okay.
For the rosters will be for best ball only. But yes, I agree with the chat here. Like, that's awesome. That's great transparency. Amazing update. Yeah, everyone's kind of in lockstep there. Yeah, good nugget. Thank you for that, Nez. I obviously missed that too. All right, let's talk about what else is interesting on Ravens. I wanted to bring up the wide receivers and the running back, because I think that's like the biggest thing. We were kind of talking Bateman in there. Flowers feels like a tier break. Bateman, 72% of routes last week, comparative to 62 from Nelson Aguilar, despite having the touchdown. And then Odell down at 28.
Wow.
And Devin Duvernay only played special teams, I believe. Taylor Wallace was inactive. So
they're going to blow my mind with the Taylor Wallace snap share. I was like, where the hell was that?
Yeah, him and Ronnie Bell were inactive last week, although my heart wanted both of them to find their way into a reason to talk about them this week. Anything on the Ravens stuff outside of Bateman? Have you dipped down to the Aguilar Odell tier at all?
Not in dailies, but I've got my bags, squarely packed with Aguilar and Odell in my best ball bags. So we're all set there, but I didn't do any deep dives yet on this route participation. I do care about you guys, but I didn't, so this is my first reaction. And wow, I had no idea that Odell's snap share was that low, or route percentage was that low. Whoa.
Yeah. I don't really know why. I didn't see him get nicked. I didn't see anything like that. I could see maybe it's because they were up a bit, and then that's like, because that's my take a little bit with the running back stuff here is they were up enough, so then they just ran other guys. That's kind of my Gus Bus versus Justice Hill take. We put Justice Hill on the cover. Justice Hill low-key looks like he has more juice right now. Has the pass catching role. We saw Dalvin Cook, the corpse of Dalvin Cook, come in there, play like 20% snap share, and get 8 carries, primarily garbage time, run the clock. He had his longest run of the year, Nez, in this game, which is kind of hard to believe. I think it was 13 or 15 yards, something like that. But just in general, I thought it was maybe because the game was a little bit out of hand nearing the end that they kept Odell and Gus Bus off of the field a little bit more.
That might make sense. I could buy that. It just seems too weird.
Yeah, it does seem odd, doesn't it? Gus did get hurt too in this game. So he only played 34% of snaps. Gus banged up his hand in this game, and then they were kind of like a little bit more of a flippening and relied on Hill after the fact.
Damn, dude. I was just so enthralled with the games that Jesus, I didn't know that Gus hurt his hand either. I mean, I've been drafting Justice Hill like crazy because he got the first snap. So I was like, all right, wheels up, Justice Hill time. We've been memeing about him being the RB1, and lo and behold, it came to fruition. So do we have a Gus practice report yet?
Not yet. No. I imagine he's a sit today.
That'll be something to watch.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook time, baby.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, he looked rejuvenated, like on a couple of those runs or whatever. I don't know. I think the biggest difference between last week and this week with what we saw from Josh Allen and what we'll see from Lamar this week, despite Lamar having, those 2 rushing touchdowns, is the goal line stuff. Will it be Gus Bus or will it be more design run Lamar stuff? Whereas I was pretty confident last week that it'd be Josh Allen stuff around the goal line and, from 5 yards out kind of thing. This week, if Gus Bus's hand's fine, can he plunge in for 2? Or will Justice Hill usurp some of that? Or will they just be like, this is the playoffs, we saved Lamar for this. Lamar, put your head down and run.
I could definitely see Lamar taking these in himself, just kind of spread things out from, like the 5-yard line, nothing quick, then just like, sprint his way into the end zone. It's good. He's going to be really hard to stop, but it was a pretty good test, facing the Bills, but this is going to be tough, man. I'm so excited for this one.
Anything else you want to mention, Ravens, or can we go to Chiefs side of the ball?
I'm ready for Chiefs.
Okay. Chiefs a little bit cleaner. It's kind of Pacheco. It's Rice. Rice got banged up in the middle of that game, missed some rotationary snaps. They took him out in the red zone a couple times. I think the Mecole Hardman shit is done. After he fumbles at the goal line, he collected all the air yards 2 weeks ago. He drew 2 deep pass interference calls, which I thought were really good routes, but then he just gave up. Like he literally just stopped running and threw his arms up looking for the flag. Like if he had just ran through that ball and made the catch, like that's a 70-yard touchdown. Anyways, all of MVS's air yards went Mecole Hardman's way, and all of a sudden MVS started playing, in 2 wide receiver sets and actually catching balls. Outside of the obvious Pacheco, Kelsey, what do you feel about, the remaining auxiliary components of the Chiefs?
It does seem like MVS is, stepping up as wide receiver 2, but you never know. This could end up being Justin Watson week. I don't think anything is really set in stone other than obviously Rashee Rice being wide receiver 1. Like you see here, 56% of routes for MVS. I don't think Sky Moore practiced today, I believe was the update. So likely not to get him again. It's a crapshoot, but I think I'll go to if I have to go to one of these Chiefs guys that isn't the ancillary guys, of course. Then I think MVS is probably my first choice.
Okay.
But he's mostly doing wind sprints, right?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, I think like you could flip a coin between Watson and MVS, but like you always kind of have this mindset that MVS has the higher ceiling, just because of like the ADOT stuff. But Justin Watson's ADOT low key, been noticeable. And then the other wild card is, can Kadarius Toney come back and then just take all the Mecole Hardman stuff away and be viable in any regard? Is he worth the scroll the F down in the 4-person lobbies?
I would probably just do Watson, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's
right?
fair. Yeah, entirely fair. Yeah.
These guys are dust.
Yeah, it's literally like trying to catch lightning in a bottle with like some gimmicky goal line shit for Tony.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm done on Tony, dude.
Anything to say on Lions? I don't think we get Khalif Raymond again, but it feels a little early in the week to be making that call. That could change up some of the usage patterns for like Josh Reynolds. That could change up some of the usage stuff for Jameson Williams. But I think Jameson Williams just like a slightly better MVS here in our minds, and Josh Reynolds, a slightly better Nelson Aguilar in terms of like touchdown hunting on this slate.
Yeah, it's interesting that the projections, I'm sure, maybe I'm not sure. Maybe things will switch this week, but I doubt it. Projections like JMO more than Reynolds. But Reynolds has, the safer floor by far. JMO has a ceiling. Sort of. Yeah, he can maybe take one of those 3 catches on 5 targets to the house.
He's got the mirage of a ceiling. How about that?
It's the squints and think about Alabama JMO ceiling that he's got there. No, it's man. These guys I think are like very, very much similar despite having different roles. I'll probably take Josh Reynolds.
Jay brings up a good point. MVS has done it. Does look like he's done it more than JMO. I'm in lockstep with you right now, though. I am in lockstep with you right now in terms of like Josh Reynolds. We saw kind of what we called where, Laporta was used more and then used more between the 20s. Like the previous week, he looked hampered and was kind of, red zone only ish. And, Josh Reynolds was eating over the middle of the field in the middle of the field, like between the 20s kind of deal. And then we saw almost full-fledged Laporta come back this week, 11 targets, 7 catches, I think it was, something of that magnitude. So just super interesting to see Laporta back in that kind of lower the ceiling of Josh Reynolds, potentially.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say, right? I mean, to me, it seems like, that they kind of fill similar needs. I get maybe that's like the wrong way to put it, but, they do kind of cannibalize one another. And I'll definitely take Laporta over Josh Reynolds, but in the Reynolds versus JMO debates, I'm going to be more on the Reynolds side of things. And that's not because my JMO bags are packed. I promise.
David Montgomery is low-key buried in the rankings. He has been one of my favorite clicks, man. People love to talk about, like, Gibbs looks electric. Gibbs looks explosive. The lazy ass Alvin Kamara comps are fully justified at this point in time. They were lazy and they were kind of like low-key correct. Yeah, man, his ability to score from like outside, like the 10, the whatever. I think we would be treating David Montgomery differently this week if Craig Reynolds hadn't taken that touchdown. And I have no idea why he was in there on 4th down instead of one of those two, most likely Montgomery. So I think if people were scrolling down to his box score and they saw like the 13, 14 points, that there's no way he'd be going behind Justice Hill and sometimes Gus Edwards right now in these lobbies. I think he's mispriced at the rate that they love to run in the red zone.
Fully agree. And like we mentioned at the top, like this 49ers defense has some vulnerability on the ground and they're going to try to run. They're definitely going to try to beat them on the ground. I mean, no matter what, that's part of their MO is, if they can run, they will run in Detroit. So David Montgomery is their bruiser, man. We nothing has changed. Like like Gibbs is going to get his work, but Montgomery is getting first crack at things. And like you said, the Craig Reynolds touchdown was such like a fluke thing that that doesn't worry me at all. Yeah, I think that's literally just like what it was. So for me, man, I'm at 60% David Montgomery. So
Okay. I love that. I love where you're at with that. That's even more so than where I've been, because I think if there's a way to fill the flex in a slightly more contrarian fashion than 2 tight end builds this week, it's actually with David Montgomery than the double tight end, because I think everyone's going double tight end, especially in these 3-person lobbies right now, that I think David Montgomery is low key becoming like a nice, or at least was in the first iteration of the 11K entry contest, has become like a nice little leverage piece late.
Do you think these people are doing David Montgomery with their 2 tight ends a lot, or no?
No, because I don't think people punt. I don't think people like to punt that far. I think they like to punt the wide receiver side of it, just the way that projections and ADP look and appear to you on the site.
Interesting.
That's kind of what I noticed. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. I only did 30 of them this morning, but I hand did them all, and that's what I was seeing.
That surprises me. That really surprised me, because I get that, and I agree with like your sentiment. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's absolutely
he's
crazy.
going undrafted a lot, because a lot of people are gravitating to, because if the 3 running backs go across the front end of the board, Nezzy, it's like CMC goes 1, Lamar goes 2. The person on the end doesn't want to get froze out at running back, so they rarely double tap wide receiver. So they take Amon-Ra and then they take Pacheco, or they take Amon-Ra plus Gibbs if they want to stack that. And then it goes kind of like wide receivers, maybe some quarterbacks sprinkled in for the next 2, kind of like rounds. And then in comes the way tight ends are pushed above the running backs and those back end wide receivers. Like visually, people click them first.
Damn. See, I'm like, I know that I'm different than, these drafters, but I'm always double tapping Ayuk and Amon-Ra when I'm at the 3. God damn, man, that's crazy that Montgomery goes undrafted, because then after I do that, then I get my tight ends, and then I wait on QB. Like, I do the same thing like over and over and over in these 3-person drafts. But it's not like I don't believe you guys. I'm just, I'm just kind of baffled by that. Like, man, it's a formula right now on how to attack these 3-persons.
Yeah, very much so. And I just will say that I love the 3-persons comparatively to the 4s, just because it introduces this like leverage dynamic. We'll talk about that when we flip over here to the quarterbacks, because I think that's kind of like the biggest leverage point outside of playing David Montgomery and Gus Edwards. Those feel like 2 of the biggest levers you can pull right now. Anything else to say, Lions, Nez?
No, they're pretty straightforward, I think. I guess in the 3-persons, man, maybe this is another one where like I'm like my finger is not on the pulse correctly, but I think Jared Goff is like mega leverage in the 3-person drafts.
Yeah, so yes and no. I think the field, because the projections look so similar and all 3 quarterbacks are in a row and presented in a row in the interface. Maybe I'll just pull it up right now so I'm not talking out of my ass. Like that, Pacheco goes in the 2nd round. Because they're all so tight and they're so like this, I think people are leaving Purdy on the board sometimes. I've only seen Mahomes left on the board 1 time, but I do think the ownership will come in between Purdy and Goff more similarly than we think. I think the narratives of, Goff being good last week, Purdy being bad last week with an asterisk. I don't actually think he was that bad, and it was light rain the entire game. But anyways, I think the perception of it, I would agree with you. I think in actual fact, those 2 will be a lot closer. Maybe like, I'd say Jared Goff in the 11,000-person entry contest will be 22% owned.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, dude. I do not know. I would
Yeah.
that would shock me.
But you're
That would
quarterback
shock
pilled,
me.
dude. You're quarterback pilled. You're the thrust the quarterbacks up the board guy.
So the 11,000 is that the 4? Well,
No, that's
on
the
the
threes.
4, in the 4s they're all 25. So in the 3,
Yeah.
yeah, we're obviously talking threes. Where Lamar is every single time 33%. And now we have this other, this other 33 or 66 to dish out.
Yeah.
Dude, I would
Maybe 22's high then. Maybe 22's high. Maybe it's, but I think it's closer than we're thinking, than you're thinking. Like I think 18 maybe 33. Because like I think Mahomes is probably, let's call it 30, because he's going undrafted like a smidge of the time, right?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of tough because it's like we're just like kind of guessing what the field is doing, and we both,
Uh-huh.
in my opinion, like I think we both think that like Goff, like for me, it's like Lamar, Purdy, like tier, not huge, but definite tier, and then
Okay.
Mahomes and Goff. I think. I mean, that's
Interesting.
where I'm at, and
I
I
think
don't
the field
that's like particularly close.
I think the field disagrees with you. I think they have Mahomes ahead, and I think the site projection being ahead has something to do with that as well. But I think I do agree with you for what it's worth. Like I think I prefer Purdy. I mean, the Ravens have just been here. Let's look at the DVP just for 1 second here. Like, just look at the Ravens and how tough they've been against opposing quarterbacks. They've been number one against opposing quarterbacks, only 11.9, underdog fantasy points allowed per game against them. They've been tough on running backs. They've been tough on wide receivers. They've been tough on tight ends. Like, they're by far, in my opinion, the worst matchup this week.
No doubt. No doubt. Which I guess, it's just like the name at this point, with Mahomes.
Playoff Mahomes, baby.
It's dude, I have like no golf.
I got the comp, dude. I got the comp. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Playoff Mahomes is to this contest as Steph Curry is to the hoops contest for recreational players.
That's funny.
Not bad, eh? Not bad.
Pretty good.
Comp,
pretty good.
Comp guys back, baby.
Curry's the biggest fugazi ever.
The biggest rug ceiling of all time. Okay, so let's just hypothetically say we attributed 33 to Lamar. He's always getting drafted. He's always going in like the top 4. We give 30 to Mahomes. He goes undrafted like some small fraction. You could probably argue that one. You could give it 31, 30, whatever. That leaves us with 47% between Purdy and Goff. You have 0% Goff in how many did you do?
I have one lowly Goff share in a fullback dive, but that's one out of like 165 teams. My exposure is just updated. I'm at 45% Lamar, 38% Purdy, 15% Mahomes.
Okay, so you had Lamar over Amon-Ra, and you were kind of hammering that.
Yeah, a little bit of a hedge. I have a lot of Amon-Ra. I also have a lot of Lamar, but what I was doing though was I wanted Ayuk in the event that the Niners roll, so I was getting some Ayuk at a pretty heavy clip there. A lot of I have so much Debo and Ayuk right now. So much.
Yeah. Okay, so you're just team Purdy over the Mahomes stuff, and then you pushed up the wide receivers accordingly, and the field looks to have a little bit more of the Mahomes side than you do. Basically. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
And then
very well said.
And then my grain of salt would be I hand drafted 30. I did them late, so maybe people are getting crazier at the buzzer too, with the Goff stuff and whatever. But I saw a lot of Goff going just in general. But just kind of thinking 47% of contests or of drafts will have either one of Purdy or Goff. Of that 47%, how much do you think it will be Purdy versus Goff?
Purdy versus Goff in terms of what? Sorry.
So, well, we gave 33% to Lamar because he's
Okay,
100% drafted, right?
Yeah.
We give 30% to Mahomes. So we got 47% left to work with, right? Am I stupid? 37%.
Yeah, 37. I would say like 27 Purdy, 10 Goff.
Okay.
And that's just
Okay.
like after
So
your campaigning for the field likes Goff.
Right. So of that 37, not 47. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So 10 is still like crazy leverage. Interesting. So I was probably off the mark with
It is.
22 is too high. 10's probably too low in my opinion. So we're probably somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
gonna be big time leverage, man. I'm almost like I'm very especially like it's, and this is strictly talking 3-person, obviously, where
Sure. Yeah.
you have the ability to be, getting that leverage over the field, and it's really not hard to do it either. If you get Amon-Ra, then you can, like, if you want to double stack Goff, you think that's needed. If you think maybe a pass to Gibbs taken to the house is what you need too, it's not hard to get there. Look at you.
Yeah, I got the Goff. I got the Goff in my. So I did 27, not 30 this morning, and I did the Goff stuff. So that was kind of.
You're the one that's boosting these Goff numbers.
Yeah, my fucking sample's so skewed because I was pulling the golf lever.
I'm telling you, it's not being done. I'm letting you know, nobody's doing that.
Nobody's doing Baker doubles. Why is everybody not doing Baker quads out here? This game's gonna go new. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, the Baker stuff I was a little scared for a bit when it was 3-3 at the end of the first quarter and 10-10 at half. I was a little scared.
Yeah, I think we all were.
Oh shoot. Tyler, I missed this one. Appreciate you joining up and becoming a member here. We will have some exclusive member-only content coming your way on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There we go, Paul. Love to see it. Congrats on the second place last week, bro.
Big time.
Yeah, Nez, I guess we've had all the conversations. What lobby would you like to jump in here?
Let's see. I like these small field lobbies. You're not going to make you do a QB sneak or anything, but well, these $10 ones aren't too bad. You want to do a $10 or a fullback dive?
Oh, we got a new. Oh, I didn't even see this onside kick too. I didn't even know. So it's 5 max with 9, 75 for the blitz single entry.
And Neumy said there's some toward the back too that are good. I don't know.
Fullback dive.
Cover 4, that looks new.
Yeah, so cover 4 and cover 3 are brand new here. $10 entries. One's obviously the 4-person, one's the 3-person, but 3 max. Dude, I love this stuff. I love how creative they're getting with this. I would way rather play like a variety of this in multiple contests than I would try and just $155 ones,
Me too. It definitely helps with the things not getting stale and just doing because there's only 2 games, drafting all over and over and over and over. Things can get monotonous. So it's nice that we have the variety here. Shout out to the platform, man. They're just crushing shit over there.
Holy smokes, we got all sorts of stuff going on here. Okay, these ones are gonna fill up quicker. Let's start at the end here. Let's do. You think we could fill the bomb right now? Let's do the bomb.
It might be, yeah. You might snap filled.
All right, let's do this. Let's see how rich you nerds are. We got 2 more spots in the bomb. 100 USD. Who's coming in here? Boom! Bam. Snap it up. Bang!
Told you.
Yeah. How rich? How rich from these guys? The Quadzilla's in here. Sono, aka Sun. 007, 007, Agent Sun. We roll the 101 because, when I put $100 on the line, I want Christian McCaffrey. So,
Yeah, so these drafts for me have been, CMC Lamar, Amon-Ra, Ayuk, and then it's like, then the draft starts, so to speak.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That's where my mind has been. I think a lot of people will argue you on the Ayuk one.
Yeah, and I think it's warranted. I think it's fine. You could definitely do other things there. I just know that at wide receiver, I think it's such a tear break after Ayuk, especially if Debo is either not going or less than 100%. How does Ayuk not go for like 150 against the Lions is beyond me.
I like it. We'll take Christian McCaffrey here with the first pick. The game-winning touchdown last week. Did you do
God, that
any?
was a heartbreaker.
Well, yeah, I it really does feel like the Packers deserved a better fate than that. It did feel like they controlled the ball quite a bit. It did feel like they pushed down into the red zone more so than the Niners did. It did they did look better in my opinion. So
oh my Lord, dude.
Almost got a Lamar fallback there. I've seen a couple of them in the GMs.
You've seen Lamar CMC?
Yep.
The fuck?
I saw one or two. This for me has been Rashee Rice and Gibbs. I could be talked into something else though.
Rashee Rice for sure is one of these picks. And
we're not scared about his health.
I'm not. No, it's
okay.
These guys are gonna play. It's freaking playoffs. And then I think it's Gibbs for me too.
Okay. I mean, you could twist my arm into being like, yo, wide receiver's the thinnest position. You should take Zay Flowers here and then, figure it out with Gibbs or whatever. But I don't know, man. Gibbs just looks so damn explosive, right? Like he just looks like the kind of guy who can break a slate.
Yeah, I mean, just on the limited touches and what he's able to do is just beyond words how awesome he has been, and likely to be in a negative game script where he's going to be used a lot more often than he usually is. Yeah, sign me up.
Very interesting that Sun goes double tight end and neither of them stack with Lamar here. That low key fucked us. I think this becomes a Debo Purdy team.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just making the call here.
Let's do it.
This becomes a Debo Purdy team. I think we have to take Purdy because Quads took double San Fran here, and I don't think he wants to.
Yeah, he's pissed as hell right now.
Yeah,
but Purdy, I've got Purdy in like very, very high regard this week. Like against these Lions, man. I don't want it to be the case, but it just really seems like we're gonna see hyper efficient Purdy against these Lions. I hope Dan Campbell can cook something up him in this defense, but I just don't see how these Niners don't like put up 30.
I watched a little bit of the scheme stuff with Colt McCoy and our boy Josh Norris there. Okay, we got one last decision to make here. And then we can look at this board. I gotta save it, right? I gotta pop out.
Yeah.
Okay. I save that one. I come over here. This is Mark Andrews for me, I think.
Yep. No question for me.
Yeah, no question in terms of the 1v1.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna take him over likely every time.
Okay, and there's no concern of like decoy Andrews or something like that when he gets ruled in this early in the week and we thought he was close last week, 3 full practices.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly a possibility, but I'm not. That's not how I'm playing it, I guess.
Gotcha. Let me zoom that bad boy in there. There we go. All right, so there's our first bomb of the week. There we roll a sick sharp badges room here. Interesting decision by Quads to pass on Lamar there and give up the Amon-Ra Lamar in the middle there, just kind of like speaking to what he perceives as the strength at the quarterback position there. We see Mahomes not go in this draft, so leaning in a little bit to our Galbrain thesis there. Sun gets contrarian with 2 tight ends, neither of which stack with Lamar despite having Lamar. And then he back stacks Bateman and Hill. I think if you're stacking with Lamar, Hill feels better than Gus Bus.
Definitely.
Okay. I
think I would have taken David Montgomery over Justice Hill there because you're literally searching for a passing touchdown from Lamar to Hill. And I think searching for a passing touchdown from Lamar to Bateman feels great. And then you hope Lamar runs one in on the ground, and that's the separator. And then David Montgomery is the leverage piece from the other game.
Yep.
But I guess it's hard to take a third Lion when he did the Laporta thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Just crazy to see the Lamar. Like man, these Lamar falling teams are gonna be living rent free in my head. I don't know that I have anything too sick with this Lamar stuff, man.
The pitfalls of the auto draft, my friend. The pitfalls of the auto draft.
I'll find out. I'll find out if I got anything cool. Let's if I see Jackson McCaffrey, I'm gonna flip my lid.
Yeah. I think I saw one already in the chats there.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff here. We get the Jared Goff with David Montgomery. I think we kind of boxed him out of the Purdy plan, which was kind of unfortunate for quads there. I think it all got kind of flipped on its head with this Laporta pick right here, because if Laporta doesn't go, I was going to go Laporta and set up Goff, but I think the Laporta flipped it on its head and kind of fucked both of our teams up a little bit.
Yeah, that threw a huge wrench into things. I mean, just salute to the confidence to do that, but not what I would have normally had done. I've got a couple Jackson St. Brown teams, but they're not popular. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, yeah, boxed out on Purdy there. Yeah, fun draft, good draft. Neumy chiming in here, likely over Mandrews. That I mean, that's it. It's low key one of the biggest decisions on the slate right now. It is. It's tough.
Yeah, it's definitely like, I don't think it's cut and dry, necessarily, but for me, I'm just like trusting that if he's active, that it's the Mark Andrews that we're very familiar with. And like GA said, I also faded him in best ball. So let's make up that ground, baby.
Oh, classic. Dare I say a Nez hedge?
Common.
Let's jump in the fullback dive here and rip one last football draft here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Actually, we might have to do a 4-person one.
Yeah, let's do. Yeah. Let's actually
showcase the difference here.
Well, this is 3?
Yeah, I'm not going to back out.
After?
I already clicked it. Yeah, these things they're not like the normal BRs. They take like 2 seconds. 2 more spots in the fullback dive. 225 USD. The 100 snap fills and the 25 is lagging behind.
Yeah,
I got to hit it with.
No, people are just scared to use the dive bullets, man. Those are.
Oh, this is interesting.
Sharp guys like ourselves. Oh, there we go. Snap.
Yeah, why not both? There we go. We'll do why not both.
Viper, let's go.
Here we go. Here's a little shout from Daniel here that San Fran defense insanely good against tight ends. Could have dodged a bullet with the Laporta one there. Interesting. That's a good little nugget. It makes sense. Their linebackers are really effing good.
Yeah, checks out.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard of that guy. He's got a great last name, Warner.
You guys relatives?
Yeah, I wish. Then I'd be good at something, Nez. Niners, 6th best against the tight end in terms of fantasy points allowed. 8. They've just been flat ass good across the board in general. Big cumulative metric, so not the greatest, not the most indicative thing in the world there.
We got some hoops news.
Oh, baby.
Nothing that like we can do about directly, but Tyler or Terry Rozier is going to play for the Heat tonight.
Oh, that was like one of my sneaky nuggets. I didn't draft a single Heat player because I thought that was coming.
Yeah,
I'm sad. I'm sad that it came so early.
Are you gonna go Amon-Ra? I kind of like it.
Yeah. I'm gonna do what I've been doing, and I had Amon-Ra over Lamar. I thought The depth at wide receiver wasn't there, and I wanted to get exploitative with the Amon-Ra, and then in turn, by getting exploitative with Amon-Ra, I can then get leverage with Goff. Now, is that a smart plan when the number one slate breaker outside of Christian McCaffrey is quarterback Lamar? Probably not, but it's a leverage play. Now we got decisions, dude. We got decisions here. I've been mixing and matching here. I actually take Rice most of the time, though.
Yeah, I think I'd be Rice too. Like you mentioned, with the wide receiver pool just being as shallow as it is, and we are at least going to have Gibbs or Pacheco back to us. If that's what we want to do with our next pick, it's, to me, the smart move.
Yeah, that's my big thing, is the fact that Christian McCaffrey has blocked out a spot every time and Lamar's blocked out a spot on the other side. By taking Amon-Ra in the middle, you give yourself leverage on either side to, catch fallers that other guys can't take.
That's a really good point. I hadn't really considered that aspect of the 3-person drafts.
They do call me the Gal Brain, Galaxy Brain, Game Theory dumbass bro. That's what they call me, Nez.
Everybody called you that in Vegas. From beginning to end, everywhere we went.
Full title.
There he is.
Okay. Do you want to do? I kind of want to do Kittle here.
Okay,
let's go
Kittle. Let's go, man. Let's go. Hurry up.
I kind of want to do Kittle.
Let's get crazy.
I kind of think this is the super ceiling Kittle spot if Debo doesn't go, or if Debo comes back to us, we could set up a Purdy double, which I like more than setting up the Mahomes double.
Mm-hmm. Playoff Kittle,
and
it might be very real.
Say again. What might
Playoff
be really
Kittle?
Playoff Kittle. Okay, now we open up another door here, where we could do Laporta double with Goff.
Oh yeah, yes.
Like, who's doing that? Who's doing double tight end through the middle?
You, my man. That's who.
Now the question becomes, do you go Lions onslaught and David Montgomery, or is that way too thin and you need to pick the touchdowns off from the other game environment to win?
What's the likelier scenario? And well, probably nailing the touchdown parlay, but onslaughting Lions does not feel like something that people that are drafting themselves, like, I think people are going to put a hard cap at 2 Lions position players when they draft. And we're playing that this game goes absolutely nuts. That's the only way. Or KC Baltimore is an absolute stinker. Multiple outs, man. Let's do Goff Montgomery. All right, let's do it. Multiple outs. Like I said, if KC Baltimore might play really low scoring, and if that happens while this game simultaneously blows up, and how do you beat the Christian McCaffrey teams? Well, it's because dumbasses weren't onslaughting the Lions. What are you thinking?
Yeah,
not taking
there we go.
4 Lions in one lineup.
I think I would want to run this back and build this exact same team again, but with Gus Bus instead of David Montgomery as well, and have 2 iterations of it.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree. I think Gus is a perfect pick for this team as well. Probably a better pick. It's just fun to onslaught.
It's an interesting game theory mindset where it's like, if you pluck off the touchdowns from the game that has a lower total, from a team that's a favorite at home on the other side, and the game that might have the weather, like, we're talking very minimal. Like, I'm talking rain, but also like maybe a little bit of wind. If you pluck off 2 touchdowns from like goal line plunges from Gus Bus, I'm not sure there's any bigger leverage on the slate, because those get taken directly from Lamar's back pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a 12-point swing.
Yeah, and then you factor in that Hill is going ahead of him in most drafts right now, and there's been like a low-key flippening, double leverage, double bubble, triple bubble, all the bubbles, pew, pew, pew. I win.
All the money. I win all the money.
All the money. Hashtag fade Lamar week. Yeah, quad just attempted it in our last draft.
Dude, I'm about to get wonky with these next set of ranks. I'm going Amon-Ra too.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra too. You've officially gotten into my head.
It's the hand in the dirt hand builders take here, Nez. Let's rip one more here, and then let's talk about the hoops slate quickly, and then caller. We got some fun new hoops contests. We got a single entry that's 12 people. That's $75. We got the heat check, the winner take all, the chip check, aka. I think it's still the greatest feat. There's a good question before. I'll jump into draft.
Yeah.
Here. But I thought it was a really good question in the Discord. What was the greater feat? The fact that Ducky went back to back on the main slate on low volume entries, or heat check, aka chip check. Our guy Chipsy in the chat went back to back heat check winners. What do you think was the better feat here? I'm going to do the cover 4 here, the $10 4-person 3 max. If anybody wants to join, one more spot.
Well, I mean, statistically, it's probably Ducky, but when you are winner take all, 1 or 0, and you go back to back, like
it's so alpha.
Chips is better. Like, I don't care like what was harder to do. That I don't really care about. Like the back to back, like they call it the chip check now. It's the chip check. Like if there was a contest named after me because I dominated it like that, I wouldn't need money after that. There
is a contest named after you, Nez. It's called the Nez Hedge, and everybody puts all their money in from their entire account. Everyone puts it in, and then it all just gets given back to you, and you just break even. And it's the Nez Hedge. There's 10,000 entries every single night. Everybody puts the money in. Everybody watches the games in peace. They feel no emotion, and then it gets given back to them at the end of the night. The Nez Hedge contest.
Oh, I really am just like shuffling fucking pennies around, putting in $1 and getting back 4 quarters every night. I love it. I love it so much.
Our guy Max Kings here said he had too much hero. Hey, the King's in the building here. Shout out the Scary Terry Nugget came from Team Hold. There you go, Mike. Shout out for the big win last night. Love to see it. Oh, Asset, what's going on, my friend?
So is Jimmy Butler a bad pick now? I feel like he doesn't even. Whatever, man. I'm fucking Jimmy Butler. Don't even
duck up to hoops.
Duck hoops.
I love it. Okay, so St. Brown goes there. In the 4-person contest, how far are you willing to push Lamar, or do we just take Lamar right here?
I think you just take Lamar. And the reason being is that you can get a pass catcher of his late as opposed to these other dust balls that go in the 6th round. But I am kind of enjoying the 4-person drafts more than I thought. The issue that comes in is like, when everybody flips their cards over and, there's just something that I just didn't have access to because of, chance. And that's when it gets tilting. But these are actually fun to draft. So I think some small field, mid to high stakes and 4-person after these other ones still could be fun. For me, this is Ayuk.
All right, let's do it. If I told you right now that Debo was in, would it still be Ayuk for you?
No, but I don't know who it would be, but it would definitely I would need to know what type of Debo. Limited or, game time decision Debo, or is it like full participant Debo? In practice, that is. And make a guess. Obviously, I'm not giving you I don't need too much of a crystal ball, but
David Montgomery goes at 8 there. That doesn't feel great. That kind of freezes us out in a little bit of a weird way. But I think I got a plan, Nez.
So we're left now with just our Ravens backs. Yeah,
Gus Hill, or if you want to get crazy, you can go like Elijah Mitchell. You could go whatever. I was really hoping that that Kelsey came back there. I think it made our team look nice. I say we do Flowers and then one of the tight ends.
Yeah, I think Flowers is the move here.
Okay.
If City Muir double taps tight end, then we just got ourselves like this crazy Ravens onslaught.
Yeah, which isn't an awful pivot.
Yeah. It does show the bear case of like taking Lamar.
Yeah, we're seeing it play out in real time.
Yep. Debo or scroll the F down.
You don't want to do a tight end?
We could do tight end. Likely or Lamar, or Andrews. You like Andrews more?
Yeah, I've been Andrews this week, but
see, okay. So if I was drafting on my own right there, knowing that we've kind of been like put in this corner, I would just trust the fact that Quads isn't going to double tight end, although he very well could, and it wouldn't be like that bad. But I would trust the fact that he's not going to double tight end. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he would double tight end, and maybe you have to take tight end there. I think I would have pushed it and then, ran the risk of getting froze out at tight end and made the guy at the end make his decision at tight end for me.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's probably like the way to play it. I just, get a little scared because I see because the tight end at this pick seems fine unless he goes. I could see him doing a running back here.
Okay, there is. Okay, I think Hill stacks better, but I think if we're painting this narrative that they score points through the air, Lamar to Flowers, Lamar to Andrews, that Gus Bus plunge at the goal, maybe not. Because if they're running out the clock late in the game, who's it going to be if they run the clock out late in the game? Probably Hill again?
I still think Gus can work.
Okay. Fuck. Hill.
That's okay. Okay. That's right. I mean, they're essentially very similar bets. If Lamar does a lot in the air, and the Ravens score a lot of points, they can all still get home.
Agreed. Do we go? I mean, Reynolds feels like the safest, comfiest click.
Yes.
I don't really like it. Let's scroll the F down.
All right. Holy shit.
Let's scroll the F down. We're not winning. This team is not winning the contest with. This team's not winning the contest if you just lump on Josh Reynolds. You're gonna dupe with somebody, or it's gonna you're gonna dupe with somebody, or it's gonna suck.
Probably. Like Quads has a really nice team though. If Debo has to play, that's the he built around Debo, but like Gus Edwards being your last pick, that feels good.
Ooh, Craig Reynolds for the goal line plunge again. He's earned it. He's earned that role.
It's his now.
No, yeah, I agree with you. Like Quad's team looks really nice. And I just think, man, taking Lamar early in these contests, I think you just wait and see if you can push him a bit.
I agree with you. After seeing this bear out, definitely not my 103 anymore in the four persons. No, thank you.
Yeah, you just kind of get froze out in some gross ways. And I think there's some really creative ways to build Lamar teams that are better than onslaughts because like so much of Lamar is going to funnel through Lamar.
You're right. Like how do you get a naked Lamar team?
You probably get it from the 104 and you start Pacheco Lamar. And then you load pass catchers from the other game environment. You hope either Kelsey or Kittle comes back to you. And then you play like Josh Reynolds, Juwan Jennings, and hope Debo doesn't play. Or you get Debo Q tag late. Because Debo's a free swap right now because no one's taking Juwan Jennings. Some of the best leverage on the slate is Juwan Jennings and Debo plays. Because nobody's going to have them.
Yeah. No, that's a good point, right? Like, he might still have himself a game if Debo plays and isn't like 100%. That's a good point, man. I hadn't because
Right.
I'm strictly waiting for Debo swaps to get Jawan Jennings. I've got plenty of it. It's coming if it happens.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's really interesting. Eli Mitchell, the running back for the 49ers, in here saying that on Amon-Ra's podcast, he said Craig Reynolds wasn't even supposed to be in there. They just messed up the personnel. And then they didn't like audible. They're just like, all right, buddy, fuck it. Like, you're taking this one to the house in the playoffs. That's wild.
Crazy. And they didn't even have a timeout or something? I don't even remember the circumstance. Like you'd think like it was such a big play. It was like 4th and goal from the 1. They decided to go for it. Had they just taken a timeout? Maybe they'd just taken a timeout and then he came out after that. No, I don't think he came out. I don't know.
What the fuck? That's wild. That's
Dude,
crazy.
Can you imagine just like, fuck it, I'm in?
This is mine. So I got fresh legs. This is mine.
Okay, I got to tell you a story right now. There's a story that I will never live down. I will never hear the end of it. I'll never whatever. Allegedly, this is how the story goes, Des. We get down to a shootout, right? In puck, and this is like in the playoffs, right? We played overtime. We're in the shootout. And allegedly, the story goes that we didn't even discuss who was going to shoot first, didn't discuss anything. And I just called my own number and went out there. I pulled the Craig Reynolds and I just said, fuck it, I'm out there. And I went out there, shot first. I missed. And allegedly, when I came back to the bench, I said, why'd I shoot first? Like, I don't like to shoot first. I want to shoot third. As allegedly what I said after calling my own number, and it wasn't even discussed to go out there. This feels like Craig Reynolds did this on his own merit.
Wait, why is this
called us? Because I don't remember doing that. I think I just called my own number, went out there and missed. I
once demanded, not demanded, but was like adamant that I take a technical foul free throw in a basketball game once and missed it too. So
there you go. You called your own number. There you go. Do it.
My dad was not happy.
Hey, nobody wants to be the guy who's afraid of that moment.
No one.
I want Craig. I want fucking Craig Reynolds on my team.
One other quick thing before we go to hoops. This is going to be a little bit longer than usual, but it's fine. Levi in here. What up, Levi? Saying Dan Campbell just had a feeling, man. I wanted to. There's a tweet that was out, and this might not be funny to like anybody, but Phil Burnzone, and he's in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, and he's like a longtime ship chaser. The ship chasers did like a 20-person Mastiff, like. The Mastiff, if you don't remember, was like $2,000 to enter contest, really small field, and they all split one, like 20 people. And Phil put out a tweet of that Dan Campbell, like say, "All I think about is you guys, man. I swear to fucking God, all I think about is you guys." And it's like him to the Mastiff group in the ship chasing thread. Oh my God,
that's good.
Man. That had me going. That's like one of my favorite clips. Like I think about that clip. That's all I think about is that clip, man.
Didn't you see where he ripped the clip from though?
What do you mean?
Your boy, dude.
Dan Campbell?
Here.
He took your video?
Your boy threw out that tweet about the Underdog community.
Oh, and then he
and then 5 minutes later he used this same video, but for the Mastiff community.
Well, it's funnier because he did it for the Mastiff community because it's like
I loved it.
It's like 20 people in there, so it's just like even more niche.
Oh,
that's
so
a great
good.
format. I love this fucking
It's
video,
so
man.
good.
God, he's
so good. It gets me jacked up.
Say it, dude. I would love to. I want to play for Dan Campbell so badly.
Let's talk a little hoops, Nezzy. I got my
right.
hand on the court. I got my hand on the court today, dude. I was absolutely touching hardwood this morning. I knew the Terry Rozier thing was coming. I was off the Heat stuff. I haven't done a ton of drafts. I think the midday queue is coming for Kevin Durant. Though I think they're nationally televised tonight on ABC. I think they all play. Kyrie is the sketchiest of the kind of big names that'll be involved in that game, in my opinion. Dante Exum coming back tonight, though, I think. And nobody's really saying anything, how that'll cut into usage. Maybe he even makes the player pool if Kyrie doesn't play. So, just galbraining a little bit of stuff there. Charlotte has all the usage in the world available now that Terry Rozier's gone and they have no bigs ever. So there's going to be, good reason to push up LaMelo to number 4, maybe number 5 on here, in my opinion. Those are my initial reads and hedges and thoughts. What do you think, bud?
Well, I don't know about the KD midday Q. I don't know where that's coming from. I hope that doesn't happen. I'm like alternating him and Donovan Mitchell. Their ADPs are slowly converging as well. I'm not sure. I don't know that Terry, removing Terry from the Charlotte situation affects LaMelo too much.
Okay.
Maybe like slightly positively, just because Terry is like, slightly
Ball handler
dominant as well. But what do you like? Are we seeing a Brandon Miller arrival?
I think so. I mean, he's played really good ball the last couple games here. Good off-ball shooter too.
Yeah, man. There you go. His box scores look really solid. Gets Detroit. No Terry. Like, I wish his ADP was like 34 instead. But I think Brandon Miller is a very, very fun click against the Pistons tonight.
I think both him and Bridges are good clicks right now, but I think the field thinks the same too. This rebound rate, like these games here where he had the 7, the 9, the whatever, I'll like it more if PJ Washington starts at the 5, no Nick Richards, blah blah blah, because PJ doesn't rebound that well, and I think he's finding his way to some aggressive defensive boards because of that. So that's just one little sprinkle that I would add is I like them. I like Miller. I like him even more if it's PJ Washington at the 5 tonight.
Okay.
Although it'll be tough to get boards against Duren.
Yeah, Duren's tough. That Detroit side is fun too. I am loading up on Jaden Ivey right now. Just loading up. You cannot take Jaden Ivey in a lobby with me, brother. I'll tell you that right now.
I like that. I mean, the minutes have been solid. It's very interesting. I don't know what Detroit's going to do in terms of rotation. Like Monty Morris is back tonight. It's fun. This is another game of the year candidate here where we're talking Hornets, Pistons, but it's so fun that
I did not plan on devoting any brain power to thinking about Monty Morris tonight.
I don't know.
I don't think I'm gonna.
Jaden Ivey's kind of like, I obviously like it more if Cade doesn't play. So Cade, getting the Q tag. He got the probable yesterday, then gets the Q kind of like downgrade in quotations today with the injury report. I don't know what this team's going to do because I think they're low-key going to be showcasing. They're going to be trying to move pieces. They're trying to be sellers at the deadline. Like, I have no idea what to expect from this rotation. So aping in on Ivy feels better if Cade doesn't play, obviously, and some of that other stuff. I'm not sure I'll be running to the podium with you to take Ivy in the 6th every round.
I'm beating you anyways, man. You don't want to be. The downgrade for Cade is the big thing for me. The downgrade plus already kind of anticipating a minutes restriction. Like, I don't think we see Cade tonight. Keep going. I gotta. Oh, never mind. He's gone. My dog was gonna try to come in, but never mind.
Yeah, it's interesting because Isaiah Stewart's been coming off the bench too. Like, it's just like there's so many moving parts for this team that I really have no idea who to get to other than just being like, oh yeah, centers versus Charlotte. Jalen Duren could have 3 blocks and 10 boards.
Jalen Duren might have 41 tonight, man.
He might put up that big ceiling game of 40 and get you to that mid cash line.
Man, just a guaranteed double, but it's the softest double of your fucking life every time.
Dude, it's low key like Nick Claxton light.
Yeah. Less blocks.
Yeah. And not as fun as Bobby Portis.
Yeah. That's your boy. You're the one that always gets Bobby Portis night, right?
Yeah, I love hunting those double doubles on Bobby Portis night. Biggest one on the slate for me right now is DeJounte. DeJounte, a trade candidate, back-to-back game-winning shots, or maybe that was before last game. And the usage big tick up in terms of the assist rates and just overall ball handling without Trey. Are you trying to get over the field on DeJounte tonight?
I probably should be, but I kind of have a love-hate relationship with DeJounte Murray as to where like he never delivers for me. If I take DeJounte tonight at a like a 20% clip, he's putting up the most frustrating 37 fantasy points ever. So the matchup is obviously like pristine, right? Like we like targeting the Warriors, and there's no Trae Young, so like there's nothing to hate. The price is really rich, and seeing Anthony Edwards go right below him, despite the fact that they are in different usage situations, I'm gonna be going back and forth between Edwards and Murray whenever they're both at the top of my queue, and I'll probably lean towards Ant more today.
Okay, yeah, that's entirely fair. I mean, yeah, I can't really like clap back on that in any regard. The models obviously love DeJounte. They're pushing him up, a little bit comparative to like where he is ranked in ADP right now. Why can I not find this T-Wolves game at all?
Is it off the slate?
Oh, there we go. No, there we go. I found it. 229 total against the Wizards. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one in general. We talk about centers versus the Wizards, and Karl Anthony Towns coming off his 62 pointer there. I don't know. We've joke all the time about Ant's ceiling. Like, where is the ceiling game? Where is whatever? What does that look like tonight? Etc. Do you have any other thoughts? T-Wolves, obviously, do you want to get over the field T-Wolves tonight because of the game environment?
Yeah, I think, give me Gobert, give me Cat. Cat
seems rich to me, man.
I know it's so clearly recency bias, but why does it have to be the Wizards fresh off that game where like yeah, he's not going to put up 60, but like he can deliver on ADP value, like absolutely. So maybe the pivot is to do Gobert instead tonight against these Wizards. This is obviously, one of the elementary flow charts of doing centers versus Wiz. So I think Gobert is going to be make up a large part of my portfolio. I haven't done a ton of drafts yet so far today, so I need to get up on that. And I don't see DeJounte Murray isn't in the projection main slates. So, but as far as PRA goes, or at least I didn't see him in ETR. 39.5 PRA for DeJounte Murray. And Anthony Edwards is also 39.5. So dead even.
Viewing them very similarly. Yeah, so their ADP is kind of looking correct in that vein there. Yeah, I don't know. Bam would be like a guy that I think people will push up today because like that Memphis team is absolutely depleted. Rozier doesn't really change the outward perspective of Bam. It might just be a good thing in general, like obviously a good passer or whatever. I think Hero sees like a drop. I think Jimmy sees a drop, and I don't know. It'll be interesting. Like Terry's first game, like maybe he plays a little more off ball and that sort of thing. So I think Bam, I'll still be like pretty comfortable with, but he's kind of like the only Miami piece that I'm targeting.
Yeah, I think you can kind of think through what Terry does for Bam, and I can kind of look into a crystal ball and see like a lot of pick and roll with Rozier and Bam, and Bam being like really involved in having himself like a really nice night, being so involved with Rozier with the ball in his hands, however much Rozier actually plays. It could be. I mean, I love the move for Miami. Let me just say that. Like, I love that move for Miami. I wish someone else did it, but good for Miami for getting it done. That cost fucking nothing to get Terry Rozier.
One first for Terry Rozier, and you give up Lowry's contract that's going to get moved on from. Blah blah blah. Like it's wow. Like I was shocked by that too. I love that too. Yeah, I like your crystal ball take there. I do think it does play really well. I just imagine Terry starts tonight, right?
I would think, right? They're just like, you're in, man. Like Spo, I guess, is just working his magic, and like, here's the game plan. Terry's got it. Let's roll. I don't know how much he's gonna play, but
Yeah.
I would bet he starts.
Interesting. Yeah, because like Jaime Hawkins is doubtful. Yeah, I don't know what that lineup's gonna look like. Like Hero, Martin, Butler, Bam, Rozier.
Hero, Butler, Bam, Rozier, and then who am I? Is it Duncan Robinson?
Martin. Caleb Martin or Highsmith or the fake Nikolai Jovic.
Dude, the heater, nice, man. I want to check out their finals odds right now because man, they cooked.
Yeah.
Let me try to pull it up. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah. Anyone else kind of like middle tier that you're looking to get over on? I liked the Gobert shout. I like the Miles Bridges one. We got the Rookie of the Year matchup, Chet versus Wemby tonight. Maybe a little bit of a minutes slackening on Wemby after they just got cooked by Embiid, and give him a little showcase spot here versus Chet.
That'd be something, wouldn't it? This is gonna be an awesome game. It's gonna be an awesome game. Chet's been really frustrating. He had a nice game last night, where of course I was light on him, and he finally eclipsed 40. But then again, didn't do it he did it by 6 blocks. It's what we talked about. It's exactly what we talked about. Where he can do the 6 blocks, but the scoring just hasn't been there that he needs. Like you need 20 points, like 12 more points with this stat line for the real Chet ceiling. He's just skinny Gobert. Like
it directly coincides with the uptick in Jalen. Like Jalen's been way more of the scorer, way more aggressive at going to the basket in recent memory. And that's kind of been like the downfall of Chet. And then you get bailed out with blocks one night when he gets home. I think there's low key been like a little, not like a flippening or anything like that. It's just like in recent memory, the secondary scoring was coming from Chet, and Chet was, doing all the good things in the mid range there. And now it's low key become Jalen.
It feels like a concerted thing, right? Like it's. Right. I don't think this is just like happening. I think it was like it was instructed, like J-Dub take shots, and it's working out very well.
Like it. Jordan Clarkson role, so like off the bench kind of deal.
Interesting.
And then that crossover, like second, like 2 guards on the floor kind of thing. I kind of feel like Reggie Jackson style. Like Reggie Jackson will play alongside Jamal, and Jamal will like run like that. So maybe Butler comes off and Terry and Hero play together as like the second unit, but it's like an early rotation.
It's pretty
6 minutes in the clock, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, if they start Terry and Hero together targeting guards against the Heat. Yeah, good show.
Let's get ahead of market on that.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a really good shout from Mike. All right, what else are we looking at here? The looming question of Dame always staring us in the face there when it wraps back around that 3-4 turn. He's just always mean projection. He's just always going to be there.
He's always at the turn, I swear. Like he's
always at the turn.
And that's why it's so frustrating, because he's always killing my 101 teams, right? It's just like, oh, like nice. I got like this. I got Jokic night, and it comes with the side of Damian Lillard just absolutely taking a shit in your lineup, right in the middle of it.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But he's falling more and more lately. Like people are getting more and more sick of clicking Damian Lillard. So to be quite honest, this This feels like the lowest that he's gone in ADP in a long time. It
Yeah.
might be time to bite.
Oh, we're buying tonight?
It might be time, dude. Like
All right. I
ADP
see you.
17 Dame is late. That's
I-
getting late. There's
Okay.
buying opportunities that exist, and I think it's okay to have at field on Dame. Otherwise, fade Dame. No one's ever lost money fading Dame.
He does feel like the end of like a little bit of a tier though, where it's like I can go spin zone on why Jaren Jackson's like a really good play tonight, despite the matchup probably being like tough. Because Memphis just has nobody. Like even Luke Kennard's got the Q tag now. I was just checking the injury report there. Like Memphis has nobody, so I could see putting him over Dame. But like, if you think Kyrie has a legit chance of missing, if you think Portland rests everyone, like Van Fleet might not play like the huge minutes. I'm kind of the mindset that Portland's going to rest probably Brogdon tonight, maybe Grant, maybe Ayton, though they just kind of like, he hasn't played a lot, but they've just kind of low-key rested him mid-game last night when he only played 5 minutes or whatever. But I just think like there's like some weird like I just think that like Dame's like the end and there's like a lot of weird shit behind here. So for me, it's kind of been like Dame, I think Kyrie plays, then Bridges, then Gobert. And like, that's kind of like the line in the sand is Dame like clearly ahead of this. That's like my long-winded way of saying it, I guess.
Yeah, no, it does feel like a defined tier, right? It's one of those, like you see it every night where there is just one spot where ADP just doesn't deviate, and Dame Lillard is seems like he is that player where he is the beginning and end of a tier for sure. Things get a little wild after him. I think it's a good point.
I think you can kind of go any which way after. Like, yeah, here, Mike's alluding to the fact that he passed on Kyrie at that spot. Like, I think that's entirely viable if you don't think Kyrie plays. And, like, not to mention, you put Exum back in there, you put whatever. It maybe the role isn't as strong as well. And I do like targeting Phoenix a little bit, but yeah.
I don't think I can pass on Kyrie today.
Okay.
This is just classic Q tag gambling, but he's against Phoenix, man. Against Phoenix, I can't pass that up. They're a 240 total, one of the highest on the slate, second highest on the slate today. Yeah, man, I'm clicking Kyrie all day long.
Okay, cool. I think it's a classic scroll the F down and shift things around and get crazy at this back end here because as I alluded to, like I think there's a real chance some of the Portland guys don't play tonight. I really like Brandon Miller, as you said. I've been taking a little bit of Beal, but like it's really hard to just pinpoint between which of the Phoenix guys you want on any given night. I don't think it's Nurk. Nurk got passed over in the rotation the other night for Eubanks. So I have no idea what
theory finally gets home. You've been
finally,
saying
baby.
They love Eubanks. They love Eubanks. They're gonna watch out. He's gonna get minutes over Nurk, and lo and behold, here it is.
Yeah, it's about damn time. It's about damn time we had a quality center out there.
So, with that being said, we're talking scroll the F down. Two things I wanted to say real quick before I get to my scroll the F down piece. One, I can't wait to appropriately fade Malcolm Brogdon tonight. I cannot
Let's
wait.
Go.
So
about
glad
damn time.
So glad he's ADP 30 and not like 34, where like he's still like he's getting taken every time, more or less. That's awesome. Do that against the Rockets. I dare you. Please. I don't care if this comes back to bite me. This is the best. I'm so excited to fade him. Two, scroll the F down for none other than Derek Lively the second tonight. What do you think?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, like we've talked about centers low-key cooking Yusuf, so I don't think it's crazy, man. Lively does seem like he could like be a good player. He's so young and he's so small right now, like not small, but like stature-wise, like he's not filled out. Like Lively does excite me a little bit. But you watch the Mavs because it's like local around around you there. Have you seen sequences though where like Luka gets like so fucking mad at him and yells at him where to be, like on offense?
Yeah,
Like Luka would just be like dribbling and he'll be like, "What the fuck, man? Move here, move here!" Like it's really funny.
yeah, I know. Like I can only imagine what it's like to get yelled at by Luca. But no, I love Lively tonight.
Okay.
To be honest, and I might have to smack a Lively spice.
Ooh, they got a spice. They got a
Dude.
double spice on Lively.
What do you think it is?
2.5x.
3.
Wow. Yeah.
That's
a Derek Lively 3 spice for
for
like
double. I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love
and
it.
then if you get Kyrie not playing and they run like some more high side screen and roll stuff between him and Luka, and that gives him more opportunity to be a scorer. The points is the thing that's kind of scary. I think the boards definitely have a chance if he plays like 25 to 28 versus Nurkic, but like the other thing that scares me is Exum being back and like some of that secondary scoring going by the wayside.
Yeah, he needs to get big on the offensive boards and do some pick and roll stuff with Luka. That's really how he can earn his points tonight. But we're no doubt going all over that 3x double spice.
I like it. Anyone else you're getting to down here? People were talking in the chat about Hero. I don't like Hero. Doesn't sound as fun or as sexy now with Rozier out. Kuzma matchup sucks. Jalen Johnson playing some good ball, but I question what the ceiling is because he's not really a stock guy. But I could see myself getting some there. Bogdanovic, Jaden Ivey, you already said. Those feel good clicks. Memphis has no one to play basketball. I don't even think Santi Aldama is going to play tonight. So there's literally like no one. Maybe Gigi Jackson, you go that far. Maybe you go to Vince Williams. If Luke Kennard can't play tonight, like I don't even know. You're going to get 40 minutes from someone. Just play him. Who cares if it's the Heat? Who cares if it's slow? Who cares if it's I don't know. Just take those minutes. And I think probably Vince, Jaren Jackson, maybe some Xavier Tillman. I don't know. Where are those minutes going to go, man?
I can't even name you like these Memphis Grizzlies at this point. Like, is it Conchar? Like Vince Williams? Like who the? I have no goddamn clue. It's dire. But yeah, it makes you kind of wonder if they get blown out. It's so hard to nail these blowouts and get them right. But like, God, it feels really, really, really bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I will say one more that I liked down here was Jabari Smith. Jabari Smith is right here. He's going to play the Q tag on Jalen Green. I think there was rumors about Jalen Green trades. So I don't know what comes of that.
Really?
But, yeah.
Really? What?
Yeah, I can't remember what I was reading it earlier. Maybe someone in the chat can fill us in. Yeah.
Damn. That would be pretty wild.
Yeah, I think it would be.
I wonder where would he go?
I don't know.
Because like I don't know much about him defensively. I know he's I follow a Houston Rockets beat guy that's been kind of pumping Jalen Green's defensive efforts lately being better.
Oh,
so
okay.
That interesting fit for a team. Wow. All right, I just put out a fiver, by the way. We went nuts.
Okay, drop it in the chat there.
Okay, you're gonna love this.
Drop it in the both chats. Yeah, Cole. Heat blowing someone out, not a chance. It's so fucking true.
You're right.
Dude, even if it's Memphis. Okay. All right. Nez dropped his pick'em, his side hustle that he was working on while we were there. I'm gonna look at it right now. We're gonna see if we like this or not for the community.
You're not gonna like it. You're gonna love it.
All right. Let's see what we got. We got the Lively double. I like that. Guard flow chart for Mitchell, 31.5 set heavy one. The Jabari Smith one I really like. Although, let me check the injury report on Tari Eason's status. I just want to make sure that Tari Eason's out. Okay, good. Yeah. Him being out and then Reg or the potential of Green being out as well. You went a little bit of negative correlation here with the Şengün and Jabari, but I will allow it because we think they just cooked tonight.
They go off tonight. Yeah, Şengün.
All right.
Şengün's going crazy. 75xer, buddy. You're welcome.
All right, 75x courtesy of Nez there. We put one BBM5 entry on this bad boy, and we're gonna see what happens. I do like the
trouble if this thing hits. We might be in big trouble. I think we're gonna get a call late tonight from Rudman with a voice changer saying, "What the fuck is your problem?"
I like the thought process of a little bit of correlation with like Lively and Luka and stuff. You went Luka first quarter points. Yeah, I like either or. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, no correlation. They're just like Luke. I feel like every time like Luka's on the slate, he just starts off so hot. That's just straight IKB.
I like it. Let's hop in one here and show the people what we practice what we preach, Nezzy.
Oh, we absolutely do. Let's see it. Oh, John, check your golf scores. I think our guys are starting to pick things up a little bit. How are you looking in these golf streets?
Okay, should we do it in real time for the people?
Oh wow, I guess. Go ahead, put yourself on the spot.
Put myself on blast here. All right, I did golf for the first time ever. No, that's not true. Not the first time ever. First time ever doing more than like 5 or 6 entries. I won a golf tournament last year, so I have the quad or the 5 crown. I don't even know what 5 sync. I got that crown, the super sombrero of all the sports. I've got a W in. I got my goat horns in all of them now, but I did it on the way up to my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's wedding last year, and I was riding, in the back of the truck, and I was just drafting, and the only thing to draft was golf. So I was just banging away and doing research and whatever on the way up to the wedding. It was like a 2-hour drive, and I won on that drive. So this is my second ever golf slate. Let's see what we got.
Check because we got Jazar in the draft. Whoa! Look at you! Let's go!
Fucking rich, man. I am rich.
Refresh 2 seconds later, and it's like 100.
We will see.
Sixth?
Okay, so we got a team. We got a team in 6th here. We're chasing some people down. We got Harry English cooking, Ryan Fox cooking. I don't know.
Dude, Ryo is my guy. Ryo Hasseltine.
Oh shit.
Dude is my boy. I'm saying his name wrong. I know it, but I love Ryo. He helped me have a really nice day the other day whenever I was running super hot. Ooh, Jazar with his slow ass takes Giannis 101 instead of Luka.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. So do you think that's a hedge against the fact that he thinks Luka may not play? I think Luka's like a lock to play tonight. Like he played well the other night. Like they're nationally televised. Like I don't see why I wouldn't take Luka 1, but I don't know. Maybe he likes the Giannis spot better against I don't know. Jared Allen being undersized. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe just because he didn't play against the Cavs last time. He's thinking, well, let me get it in on the Cavs today since I didn't get to play. I don't know, man. I just don't understand how you don't take Luka there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Flipping the board, baby. Making sure it's part of his portfolio. I like Melo here. I like Melo over KD today.
Yeah, I think this KD price is a little recency bias.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's KD, but
he wasn't doing this. Like this isn't normally. He's great real life, but normally his fantasy outputs are like in the 40s, which for a first round pick is just not going to cut it. But you know, this last 2 games we see these massive scores, so I get it, but I'm Melo too. So
let's do it. Şengün here.
Yes, sir. Yeah. He might not play the 4th, but he has the chance to do 50 in 3 quarters.
Love it. I just to layer on the KD thing there, like that team was really struggling, right? And it was finally like they got all three the big three together, and they were experimenting with some stuff. And then they had this kind of like pivotal, as we coined the TSN turning point moment, where they had the big come from, I don't know, what was it? They were 17 down, 16 down, or whatever against the Kings. And it was low key, like old school, just put the ball in Durant's hands and get out the way kind of deal after the game that Booker cooked.
Yeah, I mean, this team is in a weird spot, like you said, man. Yeah,
because like we had the Pels one was after that. I don't know.
What
like
happened
it's
in
weird.
The Pels game
where Booker went for 52. So it's like they just keep flip-flopping and stuff like that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then you see these 40 minutes,
they're
40
in a weird
minutes.
spot. Like I still think that they're a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, against I'm surprised that Bulls one was really surprising. Pacers, it's like, okay, well, I can understand it, but doing that against the Bulls is
This is your boy. Is he going? Is he going good?
Jazar?
No. Joe Basketball's asking about your
Toasty or Tosty. I called him Toasty. 23 fantasy points through 10 holes. Pretty good. I'm not. Do you have a lot of Toasty as well, Johnny? I've
absolutely not.
This in my life. Never heard of Toasty in my life, and I got like 40% of them. I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, I've never even heard of him. So I did Mackenzie Hughes in the 6th round quite a few times. Good old Canadian kid there, just for the vibes. For the vibes check, I was like, good. I had to push the plane on a couple of them, so I'd stop taking Hughes.
Just to get different. Yeah, Toasty's -3. That's pretty damn good.
That is good. Seabrum 44444. Yeah, this is kind of like the interesting spot of the board here. I think people are going to be apprehensive to pair Bridges with Ball. Like pairing teammates never like feels great. I was hoping Bam would fall to us there. I think the chalk is just to play like Dame and Kyrie and then get weird after. It does feel like a tier break to me. But if you don't think Kyrie plays, we could do something else. What do you like?
No, I like Kyrie, and I would take him first.
So you like him over Dame tonight?
Yeah, we said the whole thing about Dame, but the more I thought about it, if Kyrie plays against the Suns, it's gonna be that's gonna be a pretty nice value.
Okay. The Van Fleet one would have been interesting because I think there is a little bit of positive correlation between him and Sengun, just in terms of like assist rates and offense funneling through the center in the middle there. But yeah, I don't know. Who do you like here? My eyes go to Gobert and we play the flow chart. But what do you like?
Yeah, I'm cool with Gobert. Whoa, dude's fired up.
Tucker came in hot for Gobert, dude. He knows what time it is, man. He's like, oh, show's running long today.
Yeah, we'll see about that. He's the wrapping up box.
Yeah, he comes in hot. All right, Bubs. Okay, you sit. All right. He used to, like, when I was like drafting or playing poker or stuff like that, he used to always sleep under the desk below my feet. And now
fantastic.
He still does it occasionally, but now he's like so big that it's just like it's bad vibes for both of us.
No room. I love nothing more than feeling my sleeping dog just like up against my foot. That's just like that's the best. That's all the vibes I need. Okay, there we go. God. Yeah, look at that. Big fella. Big fella. Look at that. Chesty boy.
Mr. Good boy.
Dude, he's huge. He is so big.
Stealing the show. He's stealing the show. Okay.
What a softie, just like his dad.
We just want to have fun and draft games, man. That's all we want to do in this world.
You and him both.
Oh man, he's nuts. Yeah, the people. We need a Mr. Good Boy emoji. That's what we need.
Oh,
the goodest
good.
boy.
Yeah.
Yo, it's Tucker Craft. That's a good callback, Clay. Love it.
You got to get a good picture, a headshot of him, and we'll have to get some Tucker emojis up.
Yeah, that sounds good. We got to do a little revamp here do a little revamp here now that we got a schedule and stuff in place for the future. The Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the rotating Tuesdays and Thursdays for the badge stuff. We'll get some new thumbnails going, some new member perk stuff, and some more emotes for the people. I think there's a lot of fun ones we could add. We need a Open and Neumy and say again. Yeah.
Sorry. Blake was talking about Straka, a popular click among the Discord, just absolutely boning everybody.
Oh, he's my highest owned or second highest owned, I think, too.
Yeah, he fucked us. He fucked us, plain and simple.
Okay.
ADP of 10 tonight. God, I probably had a better score than him on the south. Or no, he was playing on the north. That's the problem.
He's playing on the good one. That's not actually the good one.
Dude, North course was not hard. It was not hard. Like, sure, the rough. I could find my ball in the rough. I don't know if you saw some guy hit a drive into the rough. They couldn't find it. I could find my balls in the rough. Pause, but it's still. Easy course.
Oh god. I don't know. Do we just take Jimmy Butler or is it a falling knife at this point, Nez?
I like Vassell.
All right, let's do it.
I forgot to mention that when we were talking players for scrolling down. Jimmy, do you know what his PRA is?
32.5.
27.5.
Oh my god, that's egregious.
It's the same as Devin Vassell.
Wow, and we just took Vassell instead.
Dude, give me Vassell for sure. Vassell for sure against the Thunder.
Yeah, Vassell. Who's gonna? Okay, let me think through that lineup for a second. They're gonna start Vassell for sure. They're gonna start Trey Jones at the 1. Yeah. Oh shoot, we're on the clock. You like Jaden Ivey?
I was gonna say this is simple. Yeah, this is easy peasy, man. Jaden Ivey is the click. I don't know that he has any pick'em projections up right now. They're probably waiting for Cade stuff. They are, but he's you're welcome. You're welcome for this.
Who do you think starts for them if Cade doesn't play? Does Killian Hayes jump back in?
Probably, but like,
who cares?
Yeah, more or less. Who gives a shit?
So we would. Did we find ourselves to Alec Burks today?
Oh, dude,
he's been playing some professional ass basketball. You give him a showcase game.
I love me some Alec Burks. That line against that second line against the Bucks sucks, but man, he was filling it up.
I don't know. Maybe it's too thin in this contest to be like reaching down to him, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Very interesting slate, guys.
It's a fun one. It's a fun one. It's still not like my favorite. I don't feel like I don't have a confidence interval of like 9 or 10 yet. Mm-hmm. But I'm still going to play the hell out of it. And it's still fun, but I don't think I don't think I'm going to ship this one. I can just say that right now. This doesn't feel like shipping.
Well, I thought I was going to ship both of the last 2 nights and I didn't sniff shit. So,
do you want to show your exposures
to last night?
Yeah. Before we take off. I don't know. I just thought this was an interesting discussion because, like,
okay.
I mean, I thought that you played it really, really well. Like,
yeah, so we had 28 McCollum, we had 27 Anthony. So I mean the Anthony one didn't age great, but we were over on Bridges, we were over on Kawhi. The AD one obviously kind of hurt, but we had 20 in Jokic and we had 18 in Russell. Yeah.
I don't know. You had the Joe Val. Joe Val was like oddly like really important last night.
Yeah, I had 17% or 16.4. It was a very interesting night where it felt like and Reeves didn't kill you because I took him in the 6th or the 5th a lot and it was still 28 points. It was a very interesting night to be like, hey, how'd I lose 30, 40% when, my exposures looked pretty good. I mean, to have 21% Bridges on this slate, 28 McCollum, and 21, 22-ish Kawhi just felt like you should at least break even just on those three alone. And those three lined up so heavily so many times. And then 17% Joe Val as well is kind of like, oh shit, if you had those four on a roster, you should probably have at least one roster in the top 100. I don't know. Very interesting night.
Yeah, very wild to come from the 400 night into like a less than 300, type of night. It was very weird.
Yeah. Nick asking you the 6th rounder was, I guess it was, Reeves when he fell, which didn't happen that late in the day. I guess maybe being over on Jordan Clarkson killed me, but that was like 5th round as well. 6th round, I probably, Michael Porter Jr. might have killed me and Aaron Gordon might have killed me because having them in the same range as Joe Val felt bad. Claxton, I pushed up a decent amount after we got Hartenstein ruled out. So I was getting some unique combos with him. Being low on SGA and felt bad. I guess Dinwiddie probably killed me. 13. I don't know. My 6 rounders were kind of like rotating. McCollum right there. I was rotating McCollum, Joe Val, a little bit of Achua. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I didn't get scared off the TJ stuff once Nemhard got ruled in. Anyways.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Exposure analysis is obviously not like the end all be all. You need to look at the construction of the players too. But I just thought that was really interesting. Just something that you would see and wouldn't think the results that you had. My exposures didn't look like yours, but I also took a bit of a bath last night, minus 45%, and I'm at.
Yeah, so it's just interesting that I think the contest or the conversation stemmed from us showing each other one another's exposures. Mine looked pretty, yours looked bleak, and the result was the same. It was just a very interesting conversation, and I guess combinatorial ownership.
Yeah, well said. Oh, I forgot. I did say Randall over Brunson last night. So there's that. Sklansky bucks, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks for remembering that. I forgot I said that.
There you go. All right, let's tie a bow on it, Nez. Yeah. We will have something tomorrow, most likely paywall. Not 100%. We're working behind the scenes to bring you guys something golf related. We were trying to make it tomorrow. It's probably not going to end up happening. It might be Saturday now.
Yeah, I think it will be Saturday. I need to check. Okay. I got a DM while we were on the show here, but yeah, I think it'll be a Saturday edition. So if you can't catch it, it's fine. It'll be for best ball. I know there's been a ton of talk around best ball and the strategy on Underdog. So we got to take a crack at that. And the guy that is in our DMs, sharp dude. So I think this is going to be a good show and something that you can take away, even if you don't know the golfers. I think I think this is going to be a good show for people that just want to get in and try to game the contest.
Sorry. There you go. Yeah, no, good shout. Love that a lot. People have been asking for that sort of thing. So we're going to try and oblige, and good to have some sharp minds who actually know the golf stuff and not just us clicking
Tootsie over and over again. Whatever the fuck his name was. I already forgot. Toasty. All right. Best of luck to everybody playing the hoops streets tonight. Best of luck in the golf and the puck and all that good stuff. I will be seeing you guys in the NFL lobbies, I believe. I will be putting in some work this evening in the NFL lobbies. And we will be back tomorrow, something paywall. Most likely, question mark, asterisk, but keeping an ear to the ground. And then 2 p.m. Eastern on Friday for Off and On the Clock with Pete.
Yes, sir. Going to be a good one.
Beautiful. All right. Best of luck tonight. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.